This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, my people? Welcome to another exciting edition of the Still a Man podcast. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is not your first time, welcome back to all of our usual participants. Let's get right to it. Tonight's topic is probate court and child support. So I want to hit you guys with a legal term. It's called adjudication. And I don't know if anyone is aware of that legal term and what it implies and what it consists of. But Tanasia, would you go ahead and pull up that word and that legal term and read it to them for me, please?
Okay. So adjudication, it's prior to or in the absence of an adjudication or voluntary acknowledgement of paternity, the mother shall have custody of the child born out of wedlock.
Is there more?
And then the actual word means a formal judgment or on a dispute matter.
Mm-hmm.
So the legal process of resolving a dispute or deciding on a case.
So you guys, let's just think about this. If you listen to the terminology, legal terms, we're already, this whole matter is being viewed as a dispute. So before it's even heard by a court officer or the judge, you are already being labeled as individuals that can't get along, that you have a failure to communicate. So again, when you guys hear probate court and child support, what does that mean to you? If you guys would like to share some of your experiences, let's start with Sean. Sean, you want to share?
Sure. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Well, for me, with my experience, and David, you and I talked about this a few years back, to where I was a big fan of probate court because probate court actually, again, helped me be disciplined because I was selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was left up to me and my significant other, the mother of my children, to work out a deal, there has been some times in my life that I fell into a situation to where I would have had to make that call. Hey, can I double up next week or the week after that or the week after that? And that would have caused, some major issues. So, and I'm the kind of person that I like for my, whatever bills I have, I like for my bills to be paid and taken care of right then and there. And so going through child support, that was money that, although it was money made, it was money not seen, didn't miss it. And so that's my experience with I've never had anything because I've never had a negative experience with probate court or child support. If I fell behind, then that was something that was on me. But as far as the courts mistreating me or me having a negative thing to say about it, I don't, because I welcomed it.
So guys, I want you to commit that to memory. Here's a man of color in the state of Massachusetts, and he's telling you that he welcomed probate court and child support because it was a form of discipline. It kept everything organized, bills and things of that nature. It held him accountable. Am I correct in saying that?
Oh yeah, and less issues with my kid's mother, because if we couldn't get along, then it wouldn't have been no issues, because we have this. We follow this guideline. This is what we agreed to. That's it. Keep it moving.
That sounds like the responsible thing to do, and it sounds real mature. And I can't say that everybody has that type of experience. Anybody else want to share? Josie, you want to share?
Do I want to share my point of view on what I think the child support system is about?
Probate, court, and child support. So if you want to share your experiences, how you navigated through the probate court system and the whole process of child support and things of that nature.
Well, to be honest with you, I've never taken anybody to court for child support. My child is 30 years old. However, me not taking him to court for child support does not mean I didn't get reeled into the system due to other mothers taking him to court for child support.
That's usually what happens.
So
someone else does it.
So with that experience, with my experience with child support, back in the days, I think the system is totally different from the system that has been enhanced and changed to today. I don't remember too many fathers not being able to have a driver's license if they did not pay a child support. And maybe I didn't see it because I wasn't really subject to it. Maybe it did exist, but I feel like there's a change in the system now that is somewhat of, it creates a standstill for the young fathers or the fathers, period. Yeah, it handicaps them to an extent where they can't reach further because they're restricted, you know, at certain limits. Do I think the system is something that should exist? Yes, I do. You know, I say this many a times in my home or around my loved ones, that if the system was revamped, where if it's about the child, you know, both individuals have to put their money in a joint account. Both individuals, when I say individuals, parents, both parents' income should be accounted for. And, you know, because right now it's based on what the father makes as to what he can share as a portion to support the child, right? So if you create a system where those rules, those stimulations are set up for both parents, because it's about the child, right? Then I'm curious to see how much of the support system females and males would think it is about at that time, you know, because right now I feel like the system is created towards men. And, you know, when you go in, it automatically you're presumed to be the bad person because of the mothers bringing you forth, or the system is bringing you forth. Sometimes mothers go and they ask for assistance, and it leads to that next step, which is child support. You know, you can't get something for nothing, basically. How I feel about child support is to each their own. I, again, never took my son's father to court for child support. However, I did get into the system of receiving a paycheck from my child's father. It was said that because, and again, this was back in the days, because my son was second, the first child got the lump sum. And my son, I believe at the first time that I went to court, he was awarded, I think it was $29 every 2 weeks.
Wow.
For me, I'm looking at this like, this is a joke. Why would someone waste their time? You know, what's that, a Happy Meal? It's not a pair of sneakers. It's not an outfit, you know, it's not a monthly bill. So yeah, at that time is when I probably made my opinion on it, that it's a joke and it's a waste of time. I just found I worked all my life, you know, that's who I was, and that's who I continue to be. I'm not knocking anybody that goes for that type of assistance, because sometimes it's beneficial to that person. I heard Sean saying that it created a better situation for him and his. And like David said, sometimes that's not always the case.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me stop right there. So you have a son. Let's get your son's perspective regarding probate court the navigation of probate court and his experience with child support. Gregory, you want to jump right in?
Well, I agree with Dukes on this whole system needs to change into like a joint type of account, because I don't understand how they have one parent paying the system basically, because like she said, you're only getting little nickels and dimes out of a whole large lump sum. So when you got the one parent paying the system and you needed help or assistance with your child, so it should be two parents paying into a joint account so that it feels like the kid is more focused on instead of somebody being short-ended from a stick. But my experience with child support court hasn't been a good one. It's been a rough ride for me, you know. I had a lot of stuff taken from me, and even when I had opportunities to do things, it was like a handicap, like Duke said. I you know, I can't go too far with this on my plate.
Well, be specific. When you say you've had things taken from you, opportunities, be specific.
Well, I just like I was supposed to go out the country. I would have never been able to go out the country because all my licenses are revoked, basically because I owe back payments from child support. And you know, I would want to say it's my fault, but sometimes you live and you learn, you know.
So let me ask you a question. So you heard the term, I don't know if you heard the term that Tanasia read earlier regarding the legal term, adjudication. Did you ever go before the judge and acknowledge that you were the father of the child in which you was being brought into court to pay child support about?
Yes, immediately.
Did you, was you asked to participate in a paternity test?
Yes, I was immediately. This is the week
So,
after my son came out the hospital.
So upon doing all those things, no one came forth and said, hey, now that you've been declared the father and you acknowledge that this is your child, was you offered visitation rights at that time?
No, I had to go through turmoil and figure out the whole system for me, because this is Massachusetts, so they're catering to the woman first. So if you want to get rights and all that, you gotta really look into it. You gotta ask questions. You gotta want it, and then even when you do want it, they're gonna make you pay for it.
So share some of your experiences when you went to basically you petitioned the court for visitation. What was that like? Was people forthcoming with knowledge, information,
no,
help, assistance?
Not at all. It was like, I'm gonna point you in this direction. If you can't find your way, that's on you.
Can I speak?
Yes. Who's that? Introduce yourself.
My name is Andre.
Okay, Andre, welcome.
I did the child support thing. I had joint custody. I'm not on child support now, and it's I've been through both things that he's been through, where the girl feels a type of way and want to put you on child support, and then at the same time, you got to, nothing is given to you in this world as a black man or a black woman. So at the end of the day, you gotta look at the information. I served my child's mother papers to get joint custody. As that, it was 120.
I was gonna say, how much did it cost you to do that, Haiti?
At that time, it was 120. So you are able to do that, and you are able to stop them from doing certain things. But at the same time, they should do things like Josie said to make it joint, because at the same time, you have to pay for health insurance. So if they are mass health, you got to pay for that. So that's where some of the money is going to.
That's correct.
And Massachusetts, Massachusetts. So at the end of the day, your majority of your money is going to health insurance. So that's why they're not getting all that money. And then I I'm in the world of construction where I see women divorce people, take their half of their money, take them for child support, and they're paying $600 a week.
Woo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
For child support, and they can't even they can barely work. They're making $1,200 a week, $1,500 a week. How you
And
expect a
still
man to
trying to
survive off of
survive.
that?
Yes, yes.
How can you build off of that?
Okay, ladies, let's get another lady's opinion. Patsy, how do you feel about probate court and child support? Do you have children? Is your opinion based upon something that you saw others deal with? Maybe your moms, maybe other family members, friends, neighbors?
Like, I don't have children myself. And as far as like anything that my mother financially was dealing with, and she's never mentioned or included us in on that information growing up, because I think on that part that whatever she dealt with my father in that perspective, if she ever really dealt with him or tried to deal with him, she never included us on that because she felt that was an adult issue when we were growing up, you know? So therefore, you know, it's like that part, she felt like as us as children, we didn't, that wasn't a factor in our minds, and she allowed us to be included on that because it wasn't, even though the money coming in was for us, it wasn't like a situation where she discussed it with us, because that wasn't a fact. That type of discussion wasn't even a discussion for children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was considered
So,
grown folks business.
exactly. You know, it's like how like you have, like when your parents are having a conversation, you know, and you try to interrupt it, and the backlash from a grown person is like, stay out of grown folks' conversation. You know, so that was a grown folks' conversation as a child, you know? So like I know like one of my friends, and she is like, she pays child support because her youngest daughter stays with the father. So the role is reversed on her part. So he actually comes and picks up the child